What does it mean to live a good life? A Stoic answer a long time ago, in the city of Rome, there lived a man named Seneca. He was a teacher, a writer, and a thinker. He spent his days pondering the deepest questions of life. One of those questions was this: what does it mean to live a good life? Seneca believed that the answer was not found in money, fame, or power. He saw many rich and powerful people who were unhappy. He saw kings who had everything but still felt empty inside. So if a good life is not about wealth or status, what is it about? According to Seneca and the Stoics, a good life is about virtue. Virtue means living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. It means doing what is right, even when it is hard. It means being a good person, no matter what happens around you. Imagine a ship sailing on the ocean. The wind may blow strong, and the waves may rise high, but the sailor does not control the wind or the waves. He only controls the sail and the rudder. Life is like that. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. A good life is not about having calm seas. It is about learning to sail well in any storm. Seneca wrote letters to his friend Lucilius, giving him advice on how to live. In one letter, he said that time is the most precious thing we have. Many people waste their days chasing things that do not matter. They worry about what others think. They chase pleasures that fade quickly. But true happiness comes from within. It comes from knowing that you have lived with purpose. Let me tell you a story. There was once a rich merchant who spent his life gathering gold. He built a great fortune, but he was never satisfied. He always wanted more. One day, he met a philosopher, a wise man who owned nothing but a simple robe and a walking stick. The merchant asked him, "How can you be happy with so little?" The philosopher smiled and said, "I am free. You carry your gold with fear, always afraid someone will take it. But I carry nothing, so I fear nothing. My wealth is in my mind and my heart." The merchant was silent. He had never thought of life this way. Seneca would have agreed with the philosopher. He believed that the more we desire, the more we suffer. If we tie our happiness to things outside our control, we will always be disappointed. But if we find joy in virtue, in kindness, in learning, and in self-mastery, then we will always have something no one can take away. Another key idea in Stoicism is the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. We cannot control the weather, sickness, or other people's actions. But we can control our thoughts, our choices, and our actions. A good life is about focusing on what we can change and accepting what we cannot. Imagine two men who lose their jobs. The first man rages against the world. He blames his boss, the economy, and his bad luck. He becomes bitter and unhappy. The second man accepts what has happened. He thinks, "This is difficult, but I can find a new path. Maybe this is a chance to learn something new." The first man suffers because he fights reality. The second man finds peace because he adapts. Seneca also taught that hardship is not evil. Difficulties are like a blacksmith's fire. They shape us into something stronger. A life without challenges would make us weak. Just as a sword must be tested, so must our character. So how do we live a good life, according to Stoicism? First, we must seek wisdom. We must question our desires and ask ourselves, is this truly good? Is this worth my time? Many things that seem important are just distractions. Second, we must practice courage, not just in battle, but in everyday life. Courage means speaking the truth, even when it is hard. It means standing up for what is right, even when others disagree. Third, we must act with justice. This means treating others with fairness and kindness. The Stoics believe that we are all part of one human family. To hurt another is to hurt ourselves. Finally, we must master ourselves. We must not be slaves to our emotions. Anger, greed, and fear can control us if we let them. But if we train our minds, we can remain calm in any storm. Seneca's letters still speak to us today because the human heart has not changed. We still chase empty things. We still fear loss. We still struggle with anger and pain. But the Stoic answer is clear. A good life is not about what happens to us. It is about who we choose to be in every moment. The next time you face difficulty, ask yourself, what would a wise person do? How can I grow from this? Remember, the goal is not to have a perfect life, but to live with virtue, no matter what comes. That is the Stoic answer. That is the path to a good life.